Hello once again, everyone. Now, today we're going to be talking about the importance of vitamin D. Okay, and we're going to be apparently dealing with another wave of COVID, and it's, all of its kind of fun stuff. But at the end of the day, vitamin D is incredibly important. Wherever you live, it might be more or less easily accessible through, exposure to the sun. And where I'm at here in Grand Prairie, Alberta, it's, about 6 months out of the year, you get a plethora of sun rays. And then for that other 6 months, the sun starts to come up somewhere around in 9-ish, and then it goes away by about 4 in the afternoon, and then you're just rendered in total darkness for more of the day than you just care to really think about. But hey, in the summer, it's mostly pretty good, unless BC's on fire, and then it's all covered with an overcast, the smoke, and you don't really want to go outside for 2 months out of the year. But hey, that is temporary, that is fleeting. What is important is what you can do to protect yourself from anything else that could happen to you. Be proactive in your approach to your own personal nutrition. I think that's essential to a healthy human being, and that's why I want to tell you guys about the benefits of vitamin D. Do you know your vitamin D levels? If not, getting your blood tested, something, yes, that you should do, so you should understand the deficiencies, and then your doctor can tell you which vitamins, which minerals you need to increase in your diet in order to achieve more of a homeostatic effect within your body. That is something that I cannot prescribe to you because I don't know your blood tests. Your doctor will. Feel free to go down there and do take them as appropriately. It's something you should be keeping up on regularly as well. Is one of the simplest and most straightforward steps to improve your health, including in relation to COVID-19. Vitamin D is an immunomodulator. Haven't seen that word in a while. Is a perfect candidate for countering the immune dysregulation that's common with COVID-19. As early in November of 2020, it was known that we were striking differences in vitamin D status among people who had asymptomatic COVID-19 and those who became severely ill and required intensive ICU care. In one study, 32.96, just about 33%, 1/3 of people with asymptomatic cases were vitamin D deficient, compared to 96.82, 97%, just about, of those who were admitted to the ICU for a severe case. So again, those are those studies that are very much out there. They have never been disputed. It just goes to show you the importance of vitamin D when it just comes to a healthy immune system. COVID-19 patients who were deficient in this inexpensive and widely available vitamin had a higher inflammatory response. Again, something else that we'll be covering a lot in the future is the regulation of inflammation, which is just a fun little sentence to say now, isn't it? All the negative effects that can have within your body wherever the inflammation manifests. And a great way to do that, just overall, is making sure that your vitamin D levels are adequate. The Indian study authors recommend mass administration of vitamin D supplements to populations at risk for COVID-19 in a study published in Scientific Reports. As of April 21st, the date the U.S. National Institutes of Health, last updates to COVID-19 treatment guidelines vitamin D page, the agency stated there are insufficient data to recommend either for or against the use of vitamin D in the prevention or treatment of COVID-19. Not something we're doing here. I'm just giving you the benefits of vitamin D. As you'll see in the paragraphs that follow, however, the evidence for its use is beyond overwhelming. Again, take this with a grain of salt. I am just a CSEP CPT, somebody with an exercise physiology degree, with a knowledge and understanding of nutrition. I'm just giving you some resources that I've made available to myself, and I will hopefully make them more digestible for you. Vitamin D has multiple actions on the immune system, including enhancing the production of antimicrobial peptides by immune cells, reducing damaging pro-inflammation cytokines, and promoting the expression of anti-inflammatory cytokines. Cytokines are the group of proteins that your body uses to control inflammation. They're very delicate as well. If you have an infection, your body will release cytokines to help combat inflammation, but sometimes it releases more than it should. If a cytokine release spirals out of control, the resulting cytokine storm becomes dangerous and is closely tied to sepsis, which may be an important contributor for some people who catch the coof. Many COVID-19 therapeutics are focused on viral elimination instead of modulating the hyperinflation often seen in the disease. Again, a lot of the symptoms for just any sort of illness out there, its basis, its lower level manifestation is very often a type of inflammation. Many COVID-19 therapeutics are focused on viral elimination instead of modulating the hyperinflammation often seen in the disease. In fact, uncontrolled immune response has been suggested as a factor in disease severity, making immunomodulation an attractive potential treatment strategy. Very interesting. In one study published in Scientific Reports in May, researchers investigated the use of pulse D therapy, a high-dose supplementation, 60,000 IUs, which is a ridiculously high dose of vitamin D, for 8 to 10 days in addition to standard therapy for COOF patients deficient in vitamin D. Vitamin D levels increased significantly in the vitamin D group from 16 nanograms per milliliter to 89 nanograms per milliliter, while inflammatory markers significantly decreased without any side effects. Terrific. Great study. Vitamin D acts as a smart switch to decrease the Th1 response and pro-inflammatory cytokines while enhancing the production of anti-inflammatory cytokines in cases of immune dysregulation. It is pertinent to note that the SARS-CoV-2 virus activates Th1 response and suppresses Th2 response, they wrote. They concluded that pulse D therapy could be safely added for reasons and things. I just want to kind of not make any claims that would get this channel struck. It's brand new, and this is day 2. Know what I mean? There's some other spicy topics that are in there, and I will link the description, or in the description will be a link of this article. If you guys want to read the rest of it, I find it incredibly informative. I can say that much, I know for sure. Based on everything I know about running the other channel, there are some things I can't say that are very, very important, and things that you guys should know as well. Things that other people have pointed out in the comment section of my main channel as well throughout the different various topics that we talk about. And vitamin D is important, very important. Talked about how it helps with inflammation within the body, and inflammation, any way that you can reduce inflammation, is just a wonderful side effect based on any negative feelings that you may have within your body. But it also helps with something else that's very, very important as well, kind of like keeping you upright, mobile, lucid, and oxygen consuming. I think you can probably draw the lines there, but yeah, there's about 3 topics on there. Feel free to go through them at your own leisure. And it's, yeah, vitamin D is so inexpensive that everybody, I can't make a blanket statement like that, but if you find yourself getting ill, even before all of this stuff went on, if you found yourself catching the cold on a regular basis, okay, you don't quite get outside as much as you should because you should be outside. In order to get adequate amounts of vitamin D, you should be outside between 20 and 30 minutes a day. Sometimes that's very tough. Sometimes it's overcast. Sometimes it's raining. You live in the Pacific Northwest. You live in Alberta and it's the winter, okay? You don't have natural ways in order to get it. And then when it comes to consuming vitamin D through food and through your diet, it's not that easy to come across, unfortunately. For as important of a vitamin as it is, it's just very hard to come by in a regular diet. You can still fill in those gaps very, very inexpensively. And there are some very readily available, high-quality supplements that are out there in order to fill that void. Some positive advances have already occurred that could make this potentially life-saving strategy more widely used. The French National Academy of Medicine issued a statement on May 2020 referring to the use of vitamin D as a simple and inexpensive measure that is reimbursed by the French National Health Insurance, and detailing the importance of vitamin D for the COOF. For COVID-19 patients over 60, they recommend a vitamin D testing and, if deficiency found, a bolus dose of 50,000 to 100,000 IUs. Again, if you go to your doctor, you get your blood tested and you see if there's a deficiency in vitamin D, which a lot of people, generally speaking, end up running some sort of a deficiency because it's not so easily to come across. For anyone under the age of 60 who receives positive COVID-19 tests, they advise taking 800 IUs to 1,000 IUs of vitamin D per day. Remember, this is the French National Academy of Medicine who is saying this, and 800 to 1,000 IUs of vitamin D, your basic supplement, just the little guy pills that are out there, vitamin D, vitamin D3. They're normally 500 or 1,000 IUs. So it's very easy to come across this type of stuff, and they come in a bulk. I'm just trying to see what mine is over there. I think it's like 1,000 from Jameson. It's super easy to come by. Okay, and even Costco, if you guys have a Costco, Sam's Club, whatever, near you, you get the 3 packets on sale. It's like $10 for the entire deal. It's cheap as chips. To reduce the risk of infection, it is recommended that people at risk of influenza and or the COOF consider taking 10,000 IUs of vitamin D for a few weeks and rapidly raise 25 OHD concentrations followed by 5,000 IUs per day. The best way to know how much vitamin D you need is to have your levels tested. Data from Grassroots Health D Action studies suggest the optimal level for health and disease prevention is between 60 nanograms per milliliter and 80 nanograms per milliliter, while the cutoff for sufficiency appears to be around 40 nanograms per milliliter. In Europe, the measurements are looking for 150 to 200 nanomoles per liter and 100 nanomoles per liter, respectively. This article was written by Dr. Joseph Mercola, and founder of of Mercola.com. An osteopathic physician, best-selling author, and has a list of awards, and he's very well respected in the field. So again, none of this is prescriptive. I'm just telling you, if you find yourself in close contact with the COOF in the near future, which who knows if you are, who knows if you aren't, but the best way to go about this is to take proactive measures to make sure that you are going to be the best person you can possibly be. And the only way that you can do that is with more information, and the information that I provided to you today, hopefully that allows you to make an informed decision. With that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.